Hello, Leslie here from Message in a Fold. When I started this journey into paper crafting in the early 2000s, I think about 2002 or 2003 was when I started. My big box craft store, Michael's, used to sell these slabs of paper, and they're single-sided, and they're 12 by 12, and they were kind of color coordinated, but I had never, the only paper I was used to was the lined note paper for notebooks and writing pads and whatever. When I got introduced into this world of paper crafting, let me tell you, I got possessed. It was crazy. This paper, my world exploded, and it was a visual orgy, for lack of a better word. These papers, they were things. Whoops. Well, that went flying. But they were papers like I had never seen before. Colors, designs, prints. It was glorious. And every time a new slab came out, I had to buy it. And there were like 250 sheets of paper in a slab for $20. And I thought, man, what an absolute bargain. I've got to have it. I've got to have it. So every time I went into Michael's, I went through their paper bins looking for slabs that I didn't have. I had to have them. I had to have that paper. And so about 10 years later, this is what I still have. I have a lot of paper on a whole I won't be using. It's like too much of a good thing. So I've had way too much orgy, and now it's time to try and figure out what to do with this stuff that I'll use it instead of it just taking up space on a shelf and nah. So, all right. What I'm going to do first, and what I suggest that you do, and I don't think you need to just sit down and do this all at once unless you have a very small stash of paper. But if you have a giant stash like I have, then just do this in small increments. I could take over the whole table. Joe is out of town now, but he'll be back tomorrow, so I'll have to clean off the table. It's easier to make the mess here in my room than it is out there in the kitchen and then have to bring it back. Okay, so step one, just go through the paper and find the pieces that are no longer the same size. Something that's been cut off. Here's another piece. This is, well, that goes. A lot of odd paper in here. This is a thick kind of piece of, it's a heavy, it's like a cardstock thing, so I'll put that down there. So anyway, sort through whatever you have and just find the offcuts, the pieces that have been cut. Your other papers, whether you like them or hate them, but they're all full size, put them away. Next thing you're going to do is write down these measurements. Okay, you got to have a plan. And we're going to work this plan. Use whatever paper trimmer you have. If your paper trimmer is not big enough for 12 by 12, if you've got a little small one like this, or or a Fisker sliding blade thing and it's small, then with a craft knife and a ruler of some kind, go to 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And put your ruler along that line. And then cut that apart. Now that should go into any of the smaller paper trimmers. Add these dimensions to your list of cuts. 4 by 5 1/4. And keep that handy. So we'll start with this one here. And this piece is 11 3/4. It's not 12 by 12. I'm going to make the first cut at 8 inches. And the second at 4. So I have 2 pieces at 4 inches wide, and this measures a little over 5 3/4. So I'm going to cut these two down to 5 1/4. So this one then measures 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this one down to 3 by 5. And I'm going to do the same with this one. 8 inches, 4 inches, and these two I'm going to cut at 5 1/4. And then this one at 3 by 5. This, excuse me, this next piece is a little less than 10 1/4 by 12. So I'll go 8 and 4. And let's see, 12 inches, 5 1/4. Let's see, that's 10 1/2. So 10 1/2. And 5 1/4. And these measure 1 1/2 by 4. So one of the measurements is 1 1/2 by 3. So I'll cut these two pieces down to 3. And this one is 2 1/4. So I need this 2 inches. I'm going to do this one 2 inches by 5 1/2. So that would be 11. My first cut would be at 11. That's going to be trash. So So 5.5. Okay, so there's those. And this thing that hurts my eyes, look at that. Look at how it goes all crooked and everything. I'm turning that over backwards. And this is 11 3/4. This is not 12. It's 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. So, you know, this is one of those that too much of a good thing. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to make the first cut at 10. And the second cut at 5. All right, I'll make the first cut at 9. And 6. And 3. So now I have 6 pieces of 3 by 5. And when it's smaller, it's a little easier to handle on my eyes. So this one is 1 3/4. So I'll do 1.5. Okay, 11. That little piece I just cut off will be trash. And 5.5. And here are a couple of pieces. This one measures 6 inches by 12. So I can get a lot out of this. I'm going to cut these at 2 by 3. So I'll go to 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2, and then I'm going to cut all of these out at 3. This would be nice for the background of a card. All of these little swirlies. This would be a pretty background. So I'm going to make this at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'll cut this at 4. And that's 10.5. So 10.5. And 5 1/4. Now these will be, you can use these on a scrapbook layout. Have this like behind a little photo, or your journaling spot can go on top of there. And what is this piece then? This piece is 1.5 by 4. All right, it's 1.5 by 3, so I'll just cut this off at 3 inches. Look at this, this paper trimmer keeps moving. All right, and then what is this one? This one is 3 inches by 12, so 3 by 4, so I will do, let's see, 12, 8, and 4. So I have 3 by 4. When you find pieces like these in your stash, then what you do with them, this one's got a tearaway edge, and it leaves this nasty perforation on it. All right. This is crazy. So 4 1/4. And I'll cut another one at 4 1/4. All right, this will be 5 1/2. So all right, this is 5 1/2. So 3 by 4. And then 1 by 3. And what is this? This is 3 by 4. This is 5 1/2, 4 1/4. So what is this one? This one, I'll cut this one at 3 by 5. And this is 3 by 1 1/2. 1 1/2 by 3. Okay. That was 1 3/4. So 1 1/2. All right, what's this one? I'll make this 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then this one, that won't work at 3, but 2. 2 by 4. I'll make it 2 by 4. All right, so that one crazy piece of paper has made this many pieces for cards or for scrapbook layouts. Oh, and it also made this little one. So I have several usable pieces from that one piece of cardstock. This takes a little while to do, depending on how much you have, but that unsightly mess will be in order, just ready for your next project. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. There's a lot happening here on this channel. So now, this is Leslie from Message in a Fold saying, hey, let's save some money. Bye.